Hi, my name is Ricky and welcome to my channel IT Tracker. In this video, I'll show you how to install Kali Linux in a virtual environment. Now I'm going to use VMware, but you can use Oracle VirtualBox or any other virtual machine software of your choice. So I'll leave that up to you. Now the only difference you may find if you're not using VMware would be the way I configure or allocate resources to my operating system. So allocating resources such as allocate RAM, storage, CPU, etc. But all the other steps will remain same regardless what software you use. Okay, so I have downloaded Kali Linux ISO file on my computer and we'll now start the process to install the operating system in a VM workstation. So I've got VMware Workstation 15.5, and to install it we'll create a virtual machine, leave it to custom install, and then click next. Here we will select the location of our downloaded file, which is in my case in download folder. Then click next. Here we're gonna select the name of our operating system. So I'm just gonna select Linux, and from the drop down you can select the version of your operating system. So there is no Kali Linux here, so I'm just gonna select other and click next. So here you can give the name to your virtual machine. So I'm gonna give it a name Kali_Linux, and then you can browse the location where you want to save your virtual machine. So I'm just gonna save it on my desktop. In the folder workstation Kali Linux, and then click next. So here we're gonna give we're just gonna allocate number of processes. So I'm just gonna select 2 each. So we'll allocate RAM to our virtual machine. I will allocate around 6 GB, and then we'll leave that as it is. And then we'll leave that as it is as well. Yep. And next. Alright, we're gonna create a new virtual disk because we don't have one. Click next. And then we'll allocate the storage to our virtual to our operating system, and then I'm gonna select store virtual disk as a single file. So here is just leave that as it is, and then we'll finish allocating all the hardwares to operating system. So as soon as you come to this page, click power on the virtual machine, and as soon as it starts it will give you a few options to choose from. So what sort of installation you want. So in this case we are installing graphical Kali Linux, so I'll just select graphical install and hit enter. Okay, then it'll ask us to choose our preferred language. On the next page it'll ask you to select your location, and then and it'll ask us to configure the keyboard, and then it'll take some time to install a couple of files before we get to the next option. Okay, then it'll ask us to enter the host name, which is I'll give it Kali-Linux and press continue, and then at the domain name you can leave it blank, and then we'll add a user for our operating system, and this is a root user, so we'll have all the authorization to make any changes or to run all the commands. And then it'll ask us to choose a password for the user. So just type in the password and then confirm, re-enter your password, and then click continue. And then it'll ask you to select or configure the clock. I'm just going to select Pacific. Now on this page we will select the first option because we're using the entire disk, and then click continue, and then again click continue, and we're gonna have all the files in one partition, and then finish the partition changes. Here we will select yes to write the changes to our disk. At this point we have a few different selections or tools available to add into a standard desktop environment. So from here it took me more than an hour to get to the next part where it gives us option to select grub bootloader. Your system may take less time because I had recording on at the same time, so be patient. Now because we are installing our operating system in a virtual environment, we can install grub bootloader package, but as it says here, if you're not installing it on a virtual environment, then you may have some issues by installing this package if you have another operating system on your computer. So on the next page it'll ask you to choose location where you want to install grub bootloader. So finally the installation is complete, and then just click continue to reboot your computer. So this is it. We have logged into a new operating system, and I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.